At least 10 people reported dead in Cuba following Hurricane Irma. And in sport, West Indies captain Jason Holder defends his team after the 2-1 series defeat in England. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Monday, September 11th. I'll be back with the details in just a moment.
On songstress with Barbadian parents Louis Miss Desire, Sterling Jackman feels great about releasing her new album entitled Desire. On the album, she said that her favorite tracks are My Team, which she thinks everyone can really relate to, and You Make Me Say. Miss Desire revealed the news that she was signed to VP Records on her 29th birthday this year as well.
Now, we had a chance to check out your beautiful island last year. Tell us where you're from in Dominica and also something people might not know about Dominica.
Well, I'm actually from the small community of Bioche. It's a fishing community. And yeah, that's one thing you maybe might not know about Dominica. You may not know Bioche, but Bioche is small. It's a fishing community. It's beautiful. There's a lovely view of the sea and so on, yes.
At least 10 people are now reported dead in Cuba in the aftermath of Irma barreling through the island as the first Category 5 hurricane to make landfall in the island since 1924. Irma made landfall in northern Cuba Friday night as a Category 5, ripping off roofs, collapsing buildings and flooding hundreds of miles of coastline. Most of the victims were reportedly killed by collapsing buildings. Cuban President Raul Castro said recovering from the impact of the hurricane would be an immense task. At least 23 deaths have been confirmed across the Caribbean after Irma brought catastrophic damage that left Barbuda practically uninhabitable and devastated several other islands. Well, one of the other countries hard hit by Irma was the British Virgin Islands, and Premier Dr. Orlando Smith says a comprehensive economic package will be needed for the country to be back on its feet. He says the entire British overseas territory will have to be rebuilt, and that is no small undertaking. Smith said while they are resilient people, the death and destruction caused by Irma has shaken them to the core. The Premier said a comprehensive economic package for reconstruction backed by the United Kingdom government will be needed over the long term in order to return to normalcy. And he said he was looking forward to hearing from London about its plans for working with the BVI to ensure that it happens in a timely fashion. There are worrying reports of violence in St. Martin in the wake of Hurricane Irma. Several people who are stranded on the island say looters have been raiding hotel rooms and homes to profit from the disaster. Troops from the Netherlands have been called in to help deal with the problem. Prime Minister Mark Rutte said more soldiers and police would be deployed amid reports of people with guns and machetes roaming the streets. He says most people are surviving on the island without the basic necessities. Power, running water and most communications were knocked out by the powerful storm, and looting has been reported by local authorities struggling to keep control of the island. Up to 95% of the island was destroyed as the hurricane pummeled its shores last week, Wednesday. The badly damaged airport and port have now been opened for military purposes. As the recovery and restoration efforts in the islands affected by Hurricane Irma begin in earnest, the Caribbean Tourism Organization, that's the CTO, is on the ground assessing the damage from a tourism point of view. Secretary General of the CTO, Hugh Riley, is part of the team from the Caribbean Disaster Emergency, that's the Emergency Management Agency, SEDEMA.
From a tourism point of view, our responsibility is to assess the situation from several different points of view, including impact on the economy and understanding how quickly we can be up and running again.
Riley says it is critical that a proper access to be done or a proper assessment is to be done to be able to access funding for the restoration efforts. However, he says there are challenges.
We work very closely with the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association. The CHTA is constantly providing, together with the CTO, these updates on the infrastructure from the hotel accommodation sector point of view. So they know fairly well, because they are getting constant information, the CHTA is, they're getting constant information from their members about the status of the established hotel sector. I say established because I think the point that you're working towards is the fact that there is now a non-traditional accommodation sector that's growing throughout the Caribbean. So whereas in the past it was easy enough to figure out exactly where the visitors were in an emergency for evacuation purposes, for emergency services, for policing, it was very simple to find out exactly where visitors were and take the necessary action. Now, visitors well, they're pretty much dispersed among our communities because the sharing economy allows that. So more and more you'll find that visitors are staying in non-traditional accommodations. So they're staying in people's houses. They're guests of regular citizens of the Caribbean. That provides opportunities and considerable challenges, and the challenges certainly become obvious at times of crisis such as now.
Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next.
She totally knows what we want. And I don't necessarily think she's playing games. I mean, once she catches on what we're doing, she kind of figures out that that's a bit of a game. But, I mean, she's an animal, so she thinks a lot with instinct, and she thinks for the moment, right? So yeah, we've got yummy treats for her, but her instinct is to control the herd. So when they move, she moves.
This ornate wrought iron fence proved almost fatal to an 11-year-old mixed breed terrier. He tried to leap over it and didn't make it, becoming impaled in the process. Local firefighters and hospital workers arrived quickly on the scene and freed the animal, cutting a 3-by-2-foot section of the fence with the dog attached. Now they need to get the injured pooch to the veterinary hospital quickly.
West Indies captain Jason Holder has leapt to the defense of his batting unit after the side slumped to a 9-wicket defeat at Lord's to concede the 3-test series 2-1 on Saturday. Resuming on the third day on 93 for 3, the Windies were dismissed for 177, with only the informed Shea Hope getting among the runs with 62. At Headingley, when West Indies stunned England in the second test by 5 wickets, Hope was again the main run scorer with 147 and 118 not out, while opener Craig Brathwaite got 134 and 95. Jermaine Blackwood was the only other Windies batsman in the series to score a half-century, but Holder said the batting element of the side continued to be a work in progress.
A lot of our batsmen, shaped up pretty well, but didn't carry on. We got drawn in, trapped on the crease a lot of times, and taken across or off stump, and nicked behind. So it's something that happens to lots of people when they come here playing in England. And for a first tour for many of us here, and I still think is a hell of an achievement and a hell of a fight which we put up. Hopefully we can learn from this. We have New Zealand at the end of the year, which could be probably similar conditions and similar type of bowlers too. So it should be a good chance for us, to really take what we've learned here into that series.
That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.